Hi, I'm Robin Lockhart. Welcome to the ILYW Workshop.
Yo, and welcome to another episode of ILYW.
Hi, welcome to ILYW Work.
Welcome to another episode of
Welcome to
ILYW.
another edition of ILYW Work. That's the name.
I love you, Mom. And your mama loves you.
Welcome to ILYW Work, Paul.
It's good to be here, man.
It's good to have you here.
Finally here.
At last.
Finally. We spoke about this a lot.
So, I suppose the best thing for me to do now is just to ask you to introduce to the viewers who you are, what you do, if they don't know. It's a very familiar face to those of you
No one knows me out
on
there.
social media.
No one knows me out there. Some of you may know, or for the ones who don't know, my name is Paul Mckenzie. I am a seasoned youth worker. Very passionate about changing young people. Been working with young people for 25 years. Some have called me an anti-violence activist, which I thought was very...
I've had that accusation as well.
It's like anti-violence. But peace. I would call myself a youth worker, and I probably will, because that's how I started. And like I said, very passionate about young people, and a lot of people will be familiar with the content that I do now, which is quite relevant to the current trend in knife and gun crime, but it's not all the work I do.
Tell us a little bit about your views, because I know a lot of the work that you've been doing on social media is around challenges, is around problems.
Well, the whole concept of the soapbox is, as the word is, the soapbox is giving people that soapbox to stand on and to speak their truth. Because I think it's really, really important that we keep searching for answers outside of our communities, where there are some people in those communities who could help you. You know, for example, a lot of youth organisations now are searching for answers outside of the people that walk past the projects they run. Yeah. And it's those key members of the community that have got the answers. So we came up with the whole soapbox thing. My wife came up with the name soapbox and the concept. And it was really just raising awareness. And it was really just making videos which can appear to be quite painful if you watch them, because they're very sort of based around accountability.
Definitely.
And the fact that you could do it.
What I've picked up is that there's a rawness. It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's no gloss.
The language is real. The people are real. And in fact, one of the things I pride myself on is the fact that if I put a video up there for a cause or trying to help somebody, that person, when they walk out into their community, other people see them and say, I saw your video.
Yeah.
I know what your cause is. I know what you're doing. And then they get help through that. I've been doing a lot of work now with people that, for one example, I'm working on a piece now where the NHS has failed somebody's mum, and she basically hasn't been buried. She's sitting on a shelf, and she's been there for 10 months because of the investigation. So I'm helping her to raise awareness for other people who have safeguarding issues. Right. So the soapbox has really grown into this kind of social platform where the responsibility is ours, and it's only ever going to be ours. Yeah. Because we can't look outside.
What do you think about this? If we look at it's a bit of a battle between community responses, government responses.
Well, that's an interesting one, because, fundamentally, I do believe that the only thing that will fix, it's like having an issue with trauma. The only time it's fixed is when you let go. Yeah. That's the only time it's fixed. Yeah. Our communities are suffering massive trauma. Yeah. And the only time we as a community or these parents or victims are going to be able to move forward is when we become accountable for that. We can't expect to see anonymous green jackets walking around patrolling our community unless we're going to put those jackets on. And we're going to wear those jackets. Yeah. And then what happens in turn is that young people see a community that cares. Yeah. And then, and I was having a debate the other day, and I was saying, look how this society or this generation of young people has changed since 2011. Just the other day, since 2011. Yeah. In 2011, we had the riots.
The riots happened, yeah.
And in the riots, the young people didn't see postcodes. They didn't have an issue with...
They were united.
They were united. And so, for me, being a slight conspiracist, I'm wondering, how is it that we united then, and now we can't even unite around a bus stop?
Yeah. How do you feel social media contributes to that world? Like, does it bring people in? Does it exclude people? There's a whole debate going on about, is it a tool for bullying or is it the solution to bullying? Where do you sit with it?
So me and social media, if we look at it as a generalization, social media is there to make our lives a lot easier. But then the generalization is outweighed by so many specific, dreadful stories. And so you look at social media and say, well, it is good. Yeah, because I'm able to do this, I connect with these people. Yeah. However, for me, social media, it depends on how you use it. Yeah. And I firmly believe that if you are a young person and you have not yet formed your values and beliefs about society, I think social media is the wrong place to find those values. I think, and this is just me again having a rant.
It's an opinion, it's valuable.
Yeah, I think what happens is when we look out into the world to challenge those values that our parents have been saying to us all of our lives up to the year of 8 or year 4, or our parents have been saying, don't go down the alley, don't carry this, don't drink this, don't smoke that, all of those things, we simply get to a stage where we have to test it. Yeah. So was Dad telling, was he right about that alley?
It's part of growing up.
Yeah. And so young people, this whole social media journey of going down that alleyway is that when you go down that alleyway, the whole basis of fundamentals of social media is that something will be in there. And sometimes there is nothing in there.
Yeah.
So we find it and we keep looking for it. Yeah. And so you have this whole issue of social media and bullying, social media and grooming, abuse, everything's going on online. Yeah. And unfortunately, young people find it very hard to kind of draw the line and say, this is reality. Yeah. And these people on social media who don't like me are just, in fact, on social media. I could always log off. Yeah. They have a problem logging off. Yeah.
And it's an interesting debate because obviously it's not going away.
Social media.
Again, talking about this accountability thing we were talking about a minute ago, a lot of people are blaming the media. Yeah. It's the media's fault that this is happening. But in the social media world, we're all part of the media. If you're on there,
we will help to perpetuate what we don't want to use. And it's interesting what you said earlier about what you don't want, you tend to see. And so this whole trend in knife and gun crime, and every time somebody whips out a sharp weapon, it goes across and it gets shared and it becomes viral, and then all of a sudden knives kill people, not people kill knives, people kill people. Yeah, that's the separation's not happening, so it's all gelling together. So anytime now somebody goes, this is a knife. And I saw a post the other day which was, I had to say it was ridiculous, It's that somebody walks past a shop and he says, oh my God, look, a set of knives, cooking, not just cooking knives, set of 3 in a pound shop. It's like, this shouldn't be allowed. And you think to yourself, where is it going? So are we perpetuating this thing, or are we using social media responsibly?
Tell us and tell the viewers a little bit more about how you think social media can help with that. Because what the discussion around social media in the mainstream media seems to be around, it's a negative thing.
Social media, when you pick up your phone and you flick to a story on your phone, you kind of migrate towards the shock that this is, and that becomes what you share. So I was shocked by seeing this. Yeah. So let me share it
with everyone.
Yeah, I saw a boy, bleeding to death on the floor. Let me not stop this and be a responsible adult, because if I share this, what it's actually doing is unconsciously creating trauma in somebody else's mind.
Absolutely.
This is what the future's got to hold for social media, is that all of these images, you remember, my mum used to say, you cannot unsee what you've seen. And so once you've seen a victim of crime on the floor, it's stored away. So what then for us in the future, when we've seen millions upon real murders, killings, sexual abuse, all sorts of things, what happens to us as a society when that time comes, when the trend in knife and gun crime goes, but we're still craving that content? So I get a lot of mainstream television calling me up, and they keep calling me up and saying, okay, we want to do a great piece on you. We love the work you do. And I can hear the sales pitch. We love the work you do. We love the fact that you're in there, you're meeting these young people. And I sit there and I wait. And I say, okay, so let's do it then. And then I say, well, what else do you need? and they always come out with the same thing. If we could just get a boy who would show us a knife, and then I just say, sorry, I can't do it, and I'll refer them on to somebody else.
Yeah. So let's look at the film that you were in. You did a bit of acting. He's an actor as well as a filmmaker.
I wouldn't call it that. It was.
You got away with it. You did all right.
Nearly 2 million views, though. People go, you acted.
1 million views in a week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the first week.
First week.
Tell us about the experience of making the film, Armani.
I remember sitting in my car once. I just collected my sons from school. Phone rings, and it's Armani. And I'm like, okay, how are you doing? He's like, yeah, I've seen you about, I know your work, I managed to get your number. And he said, I'm putting this great project together, and it involves real people that are actually doing things already. Because that was the difference with the film. A lot of people in that film were actually doing the roles. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, Leroy Logan's in there. There's a few of the people in there are out there doing the work.
They're doing the work. Yeah. So for me, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And I'm so proud of him as a young man to actually have that goal from beginning to end, because it's difficult. Yeah. And I watched the whole process behind the scenes. You know, there's loads of challenges he was going through. And the whole process behind the scenes was amazing. Yeah. And it just spelled out one thing, that, you know, this is not only a victim of crime, this is a great motivation for young people.
Yeah. There's something around that, using media as a tool. It's a powerful thing that you've been doing now for a number of years. Yeah. Is there something that you want to share with the viewers about a highlight, a moment that you'll never forget, something that just sticks in your mind?
So 4 years ago, I remember doing a workshop, running a workshop, setting up a workshop. And as you know, the community came out to support. Really important workshop for parents and young people going through the challenges that are now an everyday thing. Anyway, so we run this workshop, very underattended. However, there was this mum there. She literally walking past. She came in. I knew her. She was like, oh my God, I might as well stay. I've got an hour. So during the course of the talk, she takes out her phone and she calls her son. And her son turns up towards the end of the talk. And she said, this is my son. And I heard what you were saying. Can you help my son? And I thought, this is amazing. Because in my eyes, if one person changes, you know the story anyway. And so I was introduced to her son, and we formed a relationship. He became my mentee, and this is 4 years ago. And at the time, he was just about to be sentenced for robbery with a weapon on the streets. So we managed to get his sentence, suspended sentence, community work, sort of stuff like that. Continued mentoring him. And so for me, one of the highlights is seeing his growth, and up to last week meeting him and having a discussion about him now working, joining an acting agency, and actually literally wanting to mentor other young people. And that for me is why you do the work. Because sometimes you don't see it initially. And I think a lot of people now who engage with young people think it's a quick fix. And when they don't see that quick fix, they forget about that young person. And they don't understand that once you've said something, you cannot unhear it.
Yeah. What advice would you give to those youth workers that are starting their journey?
One of the things you've got to prepare yourself emotionally to deal with somebody else's emotions. You can't just, youth work or any kind of mediation or counselling work is not textbook. Your communication has to be so flexible that sometimes you're not even communicating. If you start this journey, just be prepared for the ups and the downs, and be prepared to meet people that will stretch you, people that will cause you to look at yourself, people that will question your values and your belief systems. And you have to become flexible enough to maintain who you are while providing the work that they need. Yeah. So it becomes a challenge in the sense that a lot of people that quote, and you just mentioned that more and more youth workers are popping up everywhere. Everybody wants to help young people. But those people that want to help young people have not yet got to the stage where they've helped themselves.
Which is a crucial point.
Other than that, just look out for the work. I mean, those who support the work understand the work. Those who support your work, they understand it. And it's just that, you know, guys like us, we don't do this because it's a trend. We've always been doing this. And we will always do this, even when the trend dies out and people go back to the city. We'll still be here.
Yeah. And thank you for your time, sir.
Thank
and
you.
I look forward to our next step together, see what happens.
Cool.